the lodestone here is IG, and also Insania made a very clear point. It seems like a lot of teams in general are doing this. This goes back to the meta game, whatever you want to call it. In general, it's expect different picks, expect to kind of change, expect fun play really with teams like this. So looking.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly agree. It seems like we have shifted towards a much more fast-paced, I guess, game style, if you want to call it. So it's pretty rare that we don't see, just as many kills as minutes are in the game. That's kind of like a stat I like to compare sometimes. But yeah, snap picks, lodestone snap picks by Insania here. So certainly a very powerful hero. I like to point out that lodestone, usually we do see him in that long lane kind of role, but I have seen teams run him even as kind of like that melee stunner in the middle lane and had some success with that. Of course, we do have a fade already picked up by IG, so most likely, though, we'll see the long lane lodestone and then fade perhaps going to be in that middle lane breaking.
Yeah. So we'll see how that ultimately shapes up here, but obviously still very early on, so plenty of answers to be given. Tempest, obviously that first pick over on the Hellborn side. There's the rally pickup coming out. Now, speaking of IG, and again, different picks perhaps. They ran Valkyrie yesterday against Lions. It didn't result in a win, but Valkyrie seems like a hero. And Insidia, though, he told me to check his public games, and he's been playing Valkyrie in general a bit lately, apparently in scrims and whatnot. Obviously, TMSR, they played Valkyrie yesterday in a match that we covered, that we saw them win with. So, it seems like Valkyrie maybe making a comeback. Do you have any input on that?
For IG, I feel like they just had success in scrims with it and felt like it was viable. I mean, it's just one of those heroes, kind of like Devour, where execution is certainly key, especially a really under-farmed Valkyrie. I mean, if you can't land that arrow, I feel like your effectiveness really diminishes very quickly.
Yeah.
So in terms of why it's coming back, I think it might just have a lot to do with people experimenting even. We are getting HoN Tour cycles started here, but people have been experimenting a lot, especially in scrims and these other tournaments we've been playing. And Insania, I think, had some success with it. I was watching quite a few of their scrims where they did run Valkyrie, but in terms of the hero and its strengths, Frankie, I'm more of a mind that it's just something people are experimenting with, and it's just a result of some recent success.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see if it does start stepping up. I'm definitely a fan of the hero. Provides one, as I always go back to, one of the most iconic abilities in the game with that arrow. So it would be nice to see. Or again, the Javelin of Light, as people like to correct me. It's just so much easier to say arrow.
Yeah.
It's like it's a javelin, you idiot. Bubbles, Magnus, Deadwood coming out so far when it comes to the band. So moving along pretty nicely here. You mentioned most likely going to be seeing a mid fade from IG, and with the Pyromancer pickup, probably even more so the case. Running that support Pyromancer. It's also a thing to note, IG, as you probably realize here, but they picked up Zergo going into the cycles. We talked about that on the podcast actually a little bit. Picking up Zergo from Jungle Euchre. So, I don't know if it's you, but I also know a concern that was brought up on the podcast. It seems like IG, they are constantly going through roster changes when it comes down to it. But we'll see if this is maybe their new 5 that's going to stick here. Again, it is still the very beginning of the season, so who knows what's going to happen. But IG, a team with a lot of potential, but it's just a matter really of getting that core 5 and actually playing with it. No doubt that helps. So.
Yeah, certainly very important for your team. I mean, when you join a new team, you just kind of have to learn people's tendencies, their almost, I don't want to say mannerisms, but just how they play, when they expect this, when they expect that. Mm-hmm. And it is a process, but of course we have seen people join teams and have quite a bit of success right away. But in general, I feel like it does take a bit of an adjustment period to have someone kind of fully complement your roster satisfactorily. So I just made that word up. I'm just spouting out like 15-letter words like crazy. I'm really smart, but. Yeah, the drafting phase continuing here, Breaky. We should probably get back to that.
Let's. Keeper the Forest Pharaoh are the final bans. On top of the Parasite, actually. So, obviously, thing to note is only one jungler so far being even picked up, being that Tempest. The other one's being banned out pretty much. Andromeda, the fairly quick pick out of that, out of the next set of picks here, coming out for Internet Gangsters. Not a support hero we see all too often. It just seems like more of a every now and then, if anything. But, especially with a hero like Pestilence kind of coming back to the scene, that minus armor idea, you would think maybe Andromeda is going to start maybe popping up a little bit more. But
she could be. I'm more a fan of Andro like as kind of like almost like a roamer. And I think Andros
Yeah.
picked up here as a counter to Tempest. Actually, I think that's kind of Insania's um, thought process here. They needed to cancel for the Shrunken Head, Tempest Ultimate, and of course Andromeda provides that with the swap. So yeah, I mean, like you said, she probably will be seen more often in terms of that kind of. I mean, she'll probably play as a second support here. I don't see her really going to the mid lane. I think Cinder will be playing Pyro and Insania will be playing Andro. And you know, in terms of that second support, getting a little extra farm might not be terribly useful for an Andro, but here definitely a great counter to the Tempest.
Yeah. Oh, going the Mage Bane. Going the Mage Bane here to finish things off as far as Internet Gangsters is concerned. So they got a very active team surrounding that Mage Bane, but obviously it's going to come down to also making sure you buy him time to get that farm and ultimately take over the game like he can. Corrupted Disciple, by the way, the carry of choice over here for nice prize pool, and we've talked about lately. It seems like Corrupted Disciple is making a strong comeback to the competitive scene, and no doubt good to see him here once again. But how do you think Mage Bane's going to fare here? As Plague Rider, by the way. There you go. That's to finish things off.
Well, the thing about IG's lineup right now is they don't have a ton of counter push, you know, to spells that can easily clear creep waves or minions. Yep. And I think even Coin could take advantage of this with some early pressure. Probably, I feel like their best strategy this game would to be just kind of like overrun them early, take all their towers, and then try and starve them out and just eventually outfarm them. That could be something that would be very effective here. And just the lack of counter push, yeah, stands out to me a little for the Legion team. But if the Legion team can effectively fight kind of 4v5 and, you know, go even almost, I think they have a pretty good chance once this Mage Bane, who is most likely going to get close to free farm in this bottom lane, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Exhibit going to be playing the Mage Bane here for Internet Gangsters. He is headed towards the top of the rest of his team to start things off, though. So, again, most likely going to end up in that short lane, but at least going to join the squad early on, right off the bat, to go place that Ward of Sight down, or the couple of Ward of Sights even that are currently on Pyromancer. Of course, being played by Cinder here as your support Pyromancer. Plague Rider. So we see Plague Rider as the final pick over here for a Hellborn team, and in this case being played by Woody Fly, but the Suicide Plague Rider seems like he's kind of making a little bit of a comeback, of course, you know, with that Deny effect, and being the only one in the game that can now do that. Obviously, Tempest no longer has that level 1 Deny. Still picked up here, and for good reason. Definitely still a strong jungler, safe to say, when it comes down to it. But, well, I mean, why do you think they went with the Plague Rider final pick, though? It's not like, you know, the armor is necessarily, I guess with the Andromeda, maybe a little bit of a scare there, but just mainly they needed a Suicide, really, you think?
Yeah, I think it might just be they needed a Suicide. I kind of am starting to see, like Plague Rider, a little more and more. I talk about, you know, the lack of jungle heroes we see quite often now, and of course most of the jungle heroes do have quite a few minions, which really was a great counter to Plague Rider's ultimate. So the resurgence of Plague Rider could be, of course, you know, he is kind of the only hero with that Deny effect, I believe, now, and of course there will not be quite as many minions in most games, so I think that could be part of the reason why we'll see him more in here. Yeah, I think they wanted a Suicide hero. We're not interested in taking anything to their long lane, and well, he's a pretty good Suicide, so why not?
Yeah, good matched up here against the Mage Bane, but Mage Bane at the same time, but not getting fed regen on Mage Bane. Now, he is going to be partnered by Andromeda, so in that sense, he kind of will be if that comes down to it, but obviously Plague Rider can be a little bit of a nuisance in terms of that contagion spam of his, as well as the on top of the Extinguish has keeps up a pretty good mana pool with that contagion spam. But you see Plague Rider to start things off, obviously in a pause here, but he is basically hugging his tower right here. Not exposing himself to getting caught out from any perhaps level 1 ganks right away, so just going to play things very safe off the bat. But obviously Insania on the Andromeda in this case, you expect him to really just box out this Plague Rider as best as possible and open up the farm for Mage Bane. So as far as Mage Bane's farm goes, what are you thinking as far as priority for him? Should he just go more of a greedy build? I mean, is it just going to be a case of, as the game progresses, we'll have to wait and see? Or
I think the greedy build, unless they're just absolutely having a fantastic time in the early game, which would probably, you know, open up him actually joining the fights.
Yeah.
He could opt to go for more of a, you know, fighting oriented build, I suppose. Maybe like the early power treads, or excuse me, steam boots. But yeah, I still think Battle Fury, okay, I just did it again. Rune Cleaver is pretty much core on Mage Bane. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
Carry players I've talked to feel like they just will never play Mage Bane without it. They'll get it even if it's at 30 minutes. So, yeah, I think that would be probably the way to go. Just rush it and just let your team try to carry you at least until the point where you can begin to carry them.
Yeah, and Conduit's a decent ability to think about getting a Geometer's Bane against too, so no doubt Mage Bane. Just another reason why it could be beneficial for him here, but again, we'll see how it picks up for Xibe playing that Mage Bane in the end. But we do have our middle matchup, Pyromancer, Fade, going up against the Rally Master of Arms here in this middle lane, so as far as kill potential goes, do you like either side here, Riser, or is it really just going to come down to play?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to play. I think it's pretty even just because of the compel. Ooh, Cryptic Disciple is going to be pressuring Lodestone pretty hard up here. He does have the Rocket Drill available. Oh, he needs stunned. Will he though?
Wow.
No. Just barely. Maybe could have killed him with the Tide if he'd used it a little earlier, but I don't think he was expecting to get that much damage in.
Yeah.
Onto Lodestone. Just, I think Lodestone got a little greedy there. But anyway, back to the middle lane. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're having a great time in the middle lane right now. They've got some fantastic lane control, and Rally is a little boxed out, but you know, I like to talk about MOA being pretty weak mid, but with the Rally, kind of makes up for it. So yeah, I'd expect the Hellborn just to play kind of passively, try and get as much farm as possible, and ultimately do not die.
So you see right here, the lane kind of getting pushed up, so Fuzi will snipe out these creeps. But yeah, the top lane, I mean, that Conduit was up to 10 charges, so Bloody 9 playing the Corrupted Disciple right here is already hitting for those upwards, I believe, around 111 damage or something like that. So, and at this point in the game, obviously pretty devastating. Nearly got a kill, but not enough in the end. But expected to be a fairly passive game. Other than that, really maybe the middle lane, of course, is where you expect action. And as always with the jungler, in this case being the Tempest, maybe if you can get some assistance in that middle lane. Speaking of the middle lane, Rally going back in right here with the compel. The double damage Pyromancer, he's going to drop first. They get the counter kill on the Rally. But the Bloodlust kill in favor of the Hellborn team. It did go to Kareem, though, a Master of Arms. I don't know. Do you think either side really won that battle? I mean,
that's a pretty tough call. I mean, yeah, he could have just played defensively and gotten out, but chose to man up there. And of course, they do get the Bloodlust, but Rally will pay for it. And
yeah,
I mean, if you compare Fade's goal per minute to Rally's, it looks like the Legion team may have fared a little better here. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could just call it kind of even.
Yeah. Well, the fact that also Pyromancer happened to get the kill on top of that, kind of interesting too. Despite him dying right there. But you do see Tempest in the meantime. He's going to do some counter warding in his jungle. Back to the middle lane. More action continuing to happen, so going to have to keep a close eye on that one apparently, as they're starting to really pick up. But good counter ward from Noodle, so he'll be able to start taking advantage of that camp. Ideally by that 4-minute mark, as soon as it respawns. But going to go back over here. And I continue to farm this one. So far, a start not the greatest, but middle lane again. Jeez, Rally going to compel right there. He will survive. Ooh, the Phoenix Wave actually a little slow right there from Sender. It almost looked like. I don't know if I just missed something, but it seemed he could have actually launched that Phoenix Wave, which is level 2, right away, and maybe gotten that kill. But in the end, may have stutter stepped a little bit. But Rally does survive, and Present 23 picking up that refreshment rune, and going to head back towards the middle lane in the end. So. Well played by him. Lodestone going the Suicide Bottle, by the way. He actually picks up a Illusion rune with that. So, you like the Suicide Bottle choice?
Yeah, I think it's much more viable now that, of course, will be 2 runes guaranteed, and he is kind of having a hard time really getting much up here at all. So just checking the runes is probably going to be his best bet every 2 minutes, and of course he can make use of them with that bottle. So also gives him a little more regen. But in the middle lane breaky, we have some initiation. Fade's probably going to escape this. Yeah, he does have the boots, so just going to be able to kind of meander his way back to his tower and continue to farm. But yeah, I like what Legion's doing this lane. Even if they can't get a kill necessarily, I mean, they probably could have, like you said, at that point. I think maybe a bit of misplay. But look, here they go again. They're just going to do a ton of damage here, harass the crap out of Rally.
He doesn't have mana for
just
compel.
Keep going.
Jeez, okay, yeah, he's going to be fine at the end. But yeah, just as soon as Pyromancer comes back, kind of rinse and repeat. Right there. What about Rally's build? Actually, hold that thought. Loso might be in some trouble right here. He's going to split up with the illusions. The conduit on him only ends up being 3 charges in the end, so not the biggest steal in the world. But what do you think about Rally's build, though? In terms of he chose to actually put a point in the passive, and it seems like lately, I don't know. Do you think he does go the 1 demoralize Aurora, the 1 in the passive, and obviously the 3 in the compel? And actually, he might be falling right here. Yes, he is. Caster's Curse coming into play. I'm sorry, buddy, but I just had to bring it up. But yeah, do you think his build's fine?
It's a little interesting. I've seen some people put 1 point into Demoralizing Roar at level 8, but
Yep.
of course he did receive that recent nerf that his battle experience, of course, does not provide a flat amount of extra damage, just the minus armor. Or, well, it's not necessarily minus armor, but anyway, you get the point. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not too fond of it. I feel like maybe just, you know, one or the other. Just pick your poison here. Could be a little more effective. Just I don't see each one of those being level 1, providing a whole lot of bonuses for you.
Yeah, it's true. So, but in the end, it is what it is for Mr. Rally over here at the top lane. Look at Fade coming in. Corrupted Disciple, though. He somehow got that information, whether it's just simply Fade missing from middle. She's level 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that, but knowing that he needs to hide, and for good reason. So Fuzi not going to be successful with the gank at the top lane and head back towards the bottom, or the middle, excuse me. So although Corrupted is not getting farm for the meantime, it does mean Fade's obviously lost out on a lot of farm herself and opened up the doors a lot for Rally. So working out pretty well. Tempest is here. He's level 6 currently. He does have the Elemental Void, of course. He actually has the Ring of Sorcery being delivered here. So maybe could even wait till he gets that. Doesn't have boots though, but if they can set up onto Fade or Pyromancer completely out of position here, then this should be a free kill. But you can see Pyromancer sitting far back, and Fade also knows something out. They do have the Sword aside here, so that actually explains it all as to why they're playing so passive. So Tempest, really no chance at getting a gank right there. How's the bottom lane going, by the way? I'm sure Magebane. Wow, yeah, 45 and 24. Seems like Zibe's been just maximizing his farm potential, of course, at the bottom lane. You see Plaguewater hiding in the forest, hoping to leave some experience here. If he gets spotted, though, he could be in some trouble, so hopefully for his sake, he stays alive there.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy. I don't know if I would be as optimistic as Woody Fly is here, but I mean, for the time being, looks like he's perfectly fine. Andromeda's not really interested in the lane. She is more interested in this pull spot. And I just want to go back to mid a little. I was talking about how I feel like Master of Arms is really a weak support hero mid, and I feel like Pyromancer and Engineer are probably the best support heroes in the game for mid, just because of the amount of the damage and disable they put out is just absurd. And, you know, we just keep watching these initiations on the Rally, and quite frankly, Master of Arms just does not have as much to offer as a hero like, say, like a Pyromancer does in terms of burst damage and disable. So I think it's really coming into play this game. Of course, you know, I was talking about the Compel being a fantastic tool, but they just kind of whittled him down. And of course, Fade getting the early bottle, getting it before Rally, I think was pretty big. Just being able to spam the stun and the Cole as well. Just made this lane for the Hellborn not go that well. And speaking of mid, here we go, Breaking.
Here we go. Andromeda coming in. Can they lock it around? Yes, they can. The combo set of hits. Even though we got the Compel off, he will fall in the air with the auto attack. So even with the Compel right there, the Kamasen was flying through the air and sure enough connected, and they set up the kill. So well played right there from the Legion side. A good roam coming out from Insania. Seems like he's been having a good time. He's been stacking the jungle a little bit, doing the pull, of course. And you see right here, goes back to stacking. So Insania playing that secondary support role very well as expected. Magebane, by the way, did he sell it actually? Okay, I think he might have sold it. I saw him purchase a Beast Heart, but I think he might have sold it and then finished off his Steam Boots. I wonder, though, if he's still planning on going for the Helm of the Black Legion here. We'll see, and then with one more creep kill, if that is going to be the case. I mean, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about from the very beginning. What kind of build should we expect to see on Magebane here? And I don't know. I don't know if Helm of the Black Legion makes the most sense necessarily in terms of, I feel like he could be a little greedy here, but especially with the pace of this game. But again, we'll see for sure what he goes for. He hasn't purchased anything yet. And the camps are being stacked once again, so that's where the Rune Cleaver, obviously, as soon as possible, would definitely come into play. Although he's just going to do it right here in the end with no Rune Cleaver, so. Yeah,
he's got about 1,300 gold, and actually, hang on, my webcam. Okay, hopefully it's okay. Anyway, he's got about 1,300 gold, so I figure if he was going to buy that Helm of the Black Legion, he probably would have purchased the Beast Heart by now. So yeah, probably just going to go into that Rune Cleaver middle lane, though, and before I could even get there.
Ouch.
Rally just gets disintegrated. So 0-4-1 Rally, 160 GPM, and this is what I talk about, how mid lane is perhaps one of the most important lanes in the game. Usually the other lanes are pretty stable about what's going to happen. You can expect pretty similar things every game, but mid is certainly quite a big factor. But speaking of that short lane, Breaky, we've got a lot of heroes converging.
Yeah, we got up top lane right here. Corrupted Disciple and Tempest need to be careful. Loso just runs right up to them. Head smash to finish off Tempest. Corrupted Disciple channeling the conduit, though. He's getting up charges, but not nearly enough. Pyromancer comes out with a blazing strike, as well as the assistance from Fade and Lodestone. And easy 2 kills for Internet Gangster. So IG just really picking up the momentum here. And I don't know if it's going to be slowing down. So yeah, great collapse. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a greedy push, or it's just more so the fact that Lodestone just literally walked right up to them and then rocket drilled in their face was
Oh, he was invisible.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
I didn't see that part.
But we may have a gank setup being... Oh, is Rally going to go for this? Yep, there he goes. There's a seismic slam. And, oh, they just got him. So fantastic kill for the Hellborn team. Really good job. I'm kind of surprised that worked, because maybe Insania just put that ward of sight down that's being countered. Yeah, he must have. So unfortunate timing for him. And unfortunately, yeah, Magebane will go down. But of course, they did just get a kill on Corrupted Disciple and a Tempest. So when you have a Magebane, you're up 3k, 5k at 11 minutes. You're still pretty happy.
Yeah, you're pretty confident with where you're at. It's kind of a tit for tat right there as far as that exchange goes. Now, going back to the middle lane, I mean, more of a hindsight now, I guess, but do you think Tempest should have been a little more active, do you think, or as far as assisting in the middle lane?
Yeah, the time he came to gank was just pretty poor timing. They needed lane control, really, to set up a gank with their heroes. Like, it's just not going to work. Of course, especially with the ward. And, I mean, the problem is his jungle did get warded pretty heavily, so he was lacking in levels pretty badly. So usually you want to come out when you have that Elemental Void, or you just have fantastic lane control. And, yeah, I think perhaps a little bit of timing could have gone a long way for Noodle setting up those ganks. But, I mean, you know, of course, it would have been good if he could have, but the opportunities just did not seem to be there for him.
Again, in the end, the big picture right now, definitely in favor of Internet Gangsters. So 3,000 goalie, 4,500 experience. They Corrupted Disciple after that death goes back to the top lane and continuing to farm. He did go the Energizer route first. Definitely like that build on him. The Steam Boots into the Energizer. Definitely a hero that's all about the mobility. So, oh, look at Lowstone. This could be huge. This could be huge. Lining up perfectly. There's the shadow. So, boom, goes the dynamite. Hits a couple of heroes right there, but they were pretty deep. Here comes Corrupted Disciple. Now, Energizer going to be used. They turn it around big time, and down falls Lodestone. Man, they were all lined up in a train form. I thought for sure that rocket drill was going to hit all three, but he was just not able to get it off in time. And here we go with the counter push now. Coming out from the Hellborn team. Magebane chasing, by the way, the bottom lane. Nice swap from Andromeda. This is going to be a free kill. Mana Rift. Is it going to be necessary? Yes, with that Defensive Master's Call. Making sure to get the kill. Back to the middle lane, though. Fade coming in. Cole on top of the Burning Shadows. The Blazing Strike. Hughes Raleigh will fall in the end, but now Corrupt Disciple. He's pissed off. He wants revenge. He's going to chase down Pyromancer. Has Energizer in 2 seconds. Going to use it right here. Trying to find him. He needs to be a little careful, though. Fade going to be opening here. And actually, Corrupted Disciple now all by himself. So Bloody Nine getting completely tunnel visioned without the team support. Tempest running in, though. And that might be the end of that. Or will it? Lawson. Oh, he misses the rocket drill. He did not necessarily see him right there. And Corrupted Disciple still not out of it just yet, though. He doesn't have a Homecoming Stone. He's going to sneak on by, and that's going to be the end of that. They deny the tower in the end, but wow, Corrupted. Getting a little ballsy there.
Yeah, I think Rally was a little too aggressive there. He's not really that tanky presence we usually see a Rally is at this point. Of course, just now finishing his Steam Boot. So with him being that far behind, posturing that far up is probably going to result in his death. Of course, it did there. The Pyromancer ultimate combined with the Fade disable. So, you know, I'd like at this point to see the Hellborn team just group up and push. I mean, they have their level 6 on Plague finally. I believe they do have the Elemental Void. Yeah, like they said, Corrupted Disciple has opted for some more early game, mid game items, and I mean they're behind, but I feel like if they group up and push, maybe even this bottom lane where Magebane is farming, it could go a long way in terms of helping them recover that early game loss. Speaking of loss, Master of Arms might be going down top lane, but he is going to use the blue ult to get away, and here we go, Breaky. Oh! He will finally fall to that, but the return could be coming out. There's the Fade stun onto Corrupted Disciple, but Plague Rider actually has joined the party, and here we go. Shadowstorm is initiated by Lodestone. Tempest is coming back in. If you pick an Elemental Void off here, it's just Lodestone at the moment, though. Fade is coming behind. Looks like he wants to go for a kill. Ooh, actually probably went to go for Plague Rider there. Bit of a misplay from Fuzi, and looks like it's going to be into that.
Yeah, that was pretty greedy play at the end there by Fuzi coming out, but in the end, he does survive, and This lane is going to be pushed, though, so obviously that'll start with Master of Arms getting caught out, and little question about using the blue Master Skull instead of the red Master Skull right there. Might have been able to bulk up and buy more time for his team to come in there, but in the end, went for the blue. It did not work out as far as surviving, but they do turn around. Actually, they're going to keep on. Blegu! That's going to be a big Blegu bouncing around in a perfect triangle formation. Down goes Andromeda, down goes Pyromancer, and Fate is also going to fall. Tempest does get taken out of the process, not even able to use his Elemental Void right there. But the damage is done in favor of nice prize pool. You got Mage Bane, you know, doing what he should be doing, frankly. He's pushing the bottom lane still, working to finish that Rune Cleaver, which is actually being delivered right here for him. But his team, in the meantime, kind of dropping all over the place right there. So well played by our Hellborn team there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just exactly what they want. Lodestone will be chasing Rally here. And will he be able to land the rocket drill? Ooh.
Uh-oh.
He's actually get Master of Arms here. I don't think he's even trying for that, but Creams is probably not too pleased about that. We do have another Contagion nuke coming up in 2 seconds. I don't think it's going to be enough for the kill. No, it will not. So, poor Creams.
Yeah, that's
just simply at the wrong place. But yeah, the problem with sometimes grouping up as 5 is that if your lanes are already not pushed, it's very easy for the other team to take advantage of it with just one hero being able to destroy your towers very quickly, and Mage Bane with the Rune Cleaver certainly a great candidate for that. As you can see, he took out, I believe he took out the bottom tower.
Yeah.
The first tier 1 ended pretty significant tier 2 to tier 2. So despite that fantastic fight for the Hellborn, IG definitely had some positives out of that, getting that tower bottom, and Mage Bane finally has finished his Rune Cleaver. So expect his farm to escalate very quickly.
Corrupted Disciple, I like to see this too. I always stress, especially out of here, like Corrupted, about that mobility, about being able to move around freely, and I think the Shrunken Head could be the appropriate choice here, so he does have the Mighty Blade. We'll see if it eventually does turn into that, but yeah, definitely personally like to see that. Abyssal Skull on the way here from Mage Bane. I also like what Fuzi, he's actually been sitting on these 2 punch daggers, and speaking of him, opening the rally right here, the Defensive Master Call comes out, the rally going to be fine. Can they turn this around maybe? Capella does connect, the Seismic Slam, oh, the great swap from Andromeda at the perfect timing from Insania, right as the Seismic Slam hit, and they end up both surviving. I mean, usually in cases like that, Andromeda's just sacrificing herself, but able to swap in and run away in the process. So well played right there, and both will live. So good support coming out, and but going back to Fate, I mean, it looks like that Codex is going to be coming for her. So going the Steam Boots on top of the Codex, bottom lane, Corrupted Disciple, Blazing Strikes, oh, but he survives it actually. Mana Rift not even enough for the kill. Wow, they used a Blazing Strikes and a Mana Rift right there. Still wasn't enough for the actual kill on the Corrupted. Middle lane now, more action. We do see a kill on a Fade right there, as it looks like Rally initiated. So, Hellborn team having some good momentum as a result of all those things.
They certainly are. This Mage Bane, though, is continuing to farm. I really think the Hellborn needs to make a play at this point. They need to push out their lanes and just probably bottom, get that tier 1 tower. And yeah, they're all actually converging down here. So perhaps they're listening to me 6 minutes in the future, something like that. But
somehow,
I don't know. I tried. But yeah, I think this is the cue for the Legion team actually, because they did, you know, kind of reveal that they're pushing this already to go push themselves. Lodestone, as you can see, he's pushing up the middle lane. Insane on lane Andromeda even going to start pressuring the top lane. So yeah, I think this is a good call by the Legion team. They have the Mage Bane with the Rune Cleaver. You know, no reason to necessarily fight the other team and give them a chance to come back. But I still think the Hellborn team has to go. They need to do Kong. They need to pick up some towers, pressure the base, get some kind of lead in this game. Otherwise, this Mage Bane is just going to get out of control.
Speaking of him, he does finish the Abyssal Skull, but as you're talking about, it's going to be a free tower kill bottom. Noodle, by the way, on Tempest, he actually goes straight into the Portal Key pretty much after the Ring of Sorcery here. They do have an Astrolabe on Plague Rider, so obviously not necessarily needing that on him. Fade is hanging out nearby, though, with the Reflection up. He's level 11, so good timing for him. And, might actually find Rally. He does have that new Codex that I was talking about. I don't know if it'd be enough for the, no, definitely wouldn't be enough for the kill, though. Mystic Vestments, Beastart, yeah, he's more than tanky enough, by at least by Fate itself. Now, Lowstone's running in. Lowstone does have a Portal Key himself. Middle tower goes down right there, bottom tower being pressured. There's a top tower kill as well, so the Legion team getting a good amount of towers. If they can get the secondary, though, might be worth it in the end, but Lowstone, okay, he's going to Portal Key away, so they at least do get the secondary as well. Wow, a lot of tower exchanging going on right there between the two teams coming out, so...
I think it favors the Legion, though. They got 2 towers versus the 2, and then Mage Bane is just continuing to freeform completely. So, excellent job by IG recognizing the best course of action, and I think they executed it really well. You see Mage Bane actually going to head into the Hellborn jungle right now. It is not exactly safe to farm anywhere else. So yeah, he did finish that Abyssal Skull. I think that's the way to go. Just continue to farm more. They're not really that pressured to have to fight right now just because of how well their early game went.
Portal Key, though, on Tempest at this point. You like that choice?
Yeah, I think you should pick up Investment. But other than that, with Plague Rider, with the Astrolabe, I don't really see Tablet being terribly effective this game. And of course, like I talked about, Andro will counter the Shrunken Head.
And Magebane.
Oh, Magebane, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
With the Mana Rift. So they have 2 ways to cancel it. So yeah, Shrunken Head's still good, but I think the Portal Key first is probably a good call. They need something crazy to come back. So
they need to get that big catch.
He needs to be a little tankier, though. I think Investments would go a long way to helping him.
It's 500 gold now, though, man.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. There's so many times where I try to buy them, and when I have 400 gold, it's like just instinct. Because they were so popular. A team playing without them, it's like just.
Oh, it's easily one of the most powerful items in the game. I mean, there's no debating that, really. So, and most popular and most powerful as far as what it does for its cost. Plague Rider right here. He's going to sit in the middle lane. Look at Fade, though, running around once again, looking for an opportunity. But more so, just finding the vision, maybe trying to find that Master of Arms for anything. Okay, finds Corrupted here, but again, not necessarily a target that he can kill himself by any means. I believe Shrunken Head was just finished by Corrupted. Yes, it was. So that's going to be delivered right here. Bottom lane, locked in the Pyromancer. He gets the tower kill, so Sender sacrificing himself. I think that's worth it. I mean, it's their main support.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, it all just really comes back to stalling, creating space even for this Magebane, and they're doing a fantastic job. 560 gold per minute, and it looks like, Hellborn will be heading into Kong. Of course, they don't have the armor up just yet for Plague, so wouldn't be quite as easy as you might think. And I mean, the Hellborn still has a chance. It's very small. It's going to be very hard when Magebane gets even more farm. The split pushing he will be able to do while they're grouped up as 5, trying to accomplish something. Just him by himself can easily push a tower almost as fast as 5 of these heroes can. So looks like they're gonna get a free Kong here, and who they put it on will probably be Corrupted. He does have that Shrunken Head now, which I definitely agree on his item build. Definitely needed the Shrunken. The Energizer build-up, of course, was just fine, and they just need to go. I can't emphasize that enough.
Andromeda, it's also nice to see well, in this case, he's even lower level than Pyromancer, it just so happens. But if you're able to get decent levels in Andromeda especially, I always like to stress that one of the best scaling supports into the late game stage. Meanwhile, Fade opens on a Master of Arms right there, but at what cost? Going to be locked down. Is going to use the Tempest Ultimate maybe to guarantee this kill. Not even necessary. There's the kill on a Fade. So Fade taking out Kareem's, but obviously sacrificing himself to do so in the end. I don't think it's worth that exchange by any means. And now Corrupted Disciple is going to start pushing this middle lane. They know Fade's dead. He does have a buyback. But especially with the reflection still down, might not end up using it, and probably not even going to be enough pressure to do so in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need. Magebane's going to get top tower free if they do this, so. I mean, they can try to pressure the base here. Like I talked about, there's not a whole lot of counter push, but in the end, they still don't have, that crazy, like, Ophelia Balfagor lineup or something. They just kind of have Tempest and some tanky heroes to kind of soak up some damage. But yeah, Magebane, of course, he had the assistance of Pyromancer and Lodestone. We'll take out the top tower before Hellborn can even take out this middle tower, and he's up to 600 GPM now. It's starting to get out of control right now.
It is. It most certainly is. Zebe is doing his job just fine here for Internet Gangsters, it's safe to say. Now Corrupted Disciple, again, he brings this onto the table, but it's more about the team fight in the end, though, for this Hellborn side. That big Tempest Ultimate really is what they're relying on once again, and still no element of Void being used by Noodle. We're now 24 minutes into the game. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, they do jump right here on Andromeda. Barely gets away. That wasn't even a swap. That was just simply jumping her. As ports do come in, though, including Magebane, chasing him back. Magebane, though, leaping in pretty far. Corrupted Disciple burning his mana. But Corrupted Disciple turning around, left Plague. Oh, barely starts a swap also from Andromeda. That was actually pretty funny. Completely unnecessary, but obviously you can see what he's going for. Lowe's still going to activate that Shadow Storm. He's going to take up that damage. B5 for now. So far, Rally's the only one that Blazing Strike. Not enough for the kill on Corrupted. At this point, though, he might be saying kill me, but no, he's going to fall back. There's still plenty of time on that token, so fall back, get some regen going. And then come back in. But well fought by both teams right there. But Internet Gangsters, they do hold it off in the end, and everyone stays alive on their side, so very well played.
Yeah, I like the item pickups from the supports on Internet Gangsters. They both have a tablet now, and very effective, especially against Corrupted and Rally. Of course, after getting stunned by Rally, you can just kind of push her. Someone can push you, and you're not going to get hit by that Seismic Slam. And then, of course, the what is it called? Corrupted Conduit does require you to be in a fixed range before it expires. So using the tablet to kite that out is also a very effective tool. But I feel like Noodle had an opportunity to get 2 heroes in the Tempest Ultimate. I think it was Fade and Pyromancer. They were kind of just south of this War of Revelation that Cinder has in the Legion base, or outside the Legion base, and you could have gotten 2, and the rest of the Legion was retreating at that point, so it probably would have been 2 free kills, but just a little hesitation sometimes on Tempest. It's playing Tempest myself, it's, you know, you want to get the best ultimate possible, but sometimes you just gotta rip it off, man.
Just gotta go sometimes, man. Can't think about it too much in the end. Go with your instincts. Corrupted Disciple, he does pick up a Quick Blade, by the way, so obviously assume that's going to be the Firebrand, and actually I believe he just finished it right there. Into the Geometer's Bane. Again, a pretty solid build choice by him. Mage Bane cleaning up, I believe those are triple stack Ancients in the meantime. 3,200 more gold saved up. Mage Bane, you have your core here. Do you think Shrunken Head is necessary on him in this case?
Yeah, he should just get Shrunken, and then if they win this fight, you know, with the token, with the Hellborn team having a token, if Legion wins this fight with the Shrunken Head on Mage Bane, it's pretty much game over. So yeah, Shrunken Head, definitely next pickup. I would not recommend getting anything else.
God, Mage Bane, this is just where he shines, man. I mean, he's pushing the top lane easily, and in the meantime, the supporting cast here is, you know, keeping them out as much as possible. Now, you talked about, actually, Fade's going to open right here. On a rather being burst down, he will fall. Tempest comes out there. Oh, about to get his both, but no, the swap from Andromeda does buy time, though, for a kill, and Fade, it looks like Tempest, so he's going to fall down. Plague bouncing around, doing a good amount of damage. Andromeda tableting away. Will we find Corrupted Disciple? What are you doing? Corrupted Disciple, you are diving the freaking well without your team. Mage Bane is not even here this whole time. This is all without Mage Bane. It pushes the top lane, gets a tower kill. He nearly gets the melee racks. He's fighting right now against Tempest up here. We do go back to Corrupted Disciple, also being locked down. Back up here, though. Tempest goes down to the Mana Rift. Mage Bane gonna take out the melee racks. Oh, man, this is just disaster as Corrupted Disciple falls. It could not have gone any worse right there, I don't think, for a nice prize pool. So well played by Internet Gangsters in the end, but big dive at the same time.
Yeah, I think they're just a little desperate at that point. Mage Bane basically racks them before they could even kill a tower. So, yeah, this is the problem with losing early game this hard against the Mage Bane. He has this much space. It's hard to come back from.
Corrupted Disciple, or excuse me, Tempest actually bought back that fight as well. Obviously worth mentioning when it comes down to it. So another case of, and it was just funny. He's just kind of standing there like, yeah, it's a Tempest Plague Rider. I'm gonna finish off these melee racks, including get a kill, and then eventually fall back. So yeah, really all across the board, Internet Gangsters coming out big time on top. And as you stated, even going into that fight, it's really a case of if IG manages to win that, then really you kind of, especially with that token alive, you know, how much are you going to be able to do after that fact? So another 5,300 gold on Mage Bane. He might not go for the Shrunken Head here in this case. He might just go for something like a Savage Mace, be a little greedy here.
Yeah, you could even get something to help him split push even more effectively. I mean, that was kind of the fight that Hellborn had to win and get a Rax and somehow not get counter Rax. But with that fight going IG's way, I feel like Mage Bane could probably give you anything you want. You could even get like a Frostwolf Skull or something. Yeah. And he'll probably just never die.
I think Wingbow is also... Oh, Beast. Okay, there you go.
He's been watching Dota.
Investments. That's what he goes for. So he's just bulking up, really. He's obviously doing plenty of damage. And it's another thing, that, going back to Andromeda, as I was mentioning earlier, you know, with that R, it's a fairly short range, but if they're on the team fights, you know, R could be affecting him, and that's another 36% base damage that he has working for him on top of the Aurora. That comes out from Andromeda. So Andromeda, by the way, with a portal key now as well. That's
good luck ulting.
Exactly. Tempest has pretty much no chance. Asini is a smart player, and that with the case of a portal key Andromeda, you're not getting an ulti off of your Tempest. I mean, it's just not happening. So
yeah, the range on swap is just, I mean, level 2 swap. I mean, he can blink or portal key to I don't know where, anywhere he wants pretty much, and knock you caught in the ult, and then of course just follow it up with the swap. So yeah, looks pretty grim for the Hellborn. Of course, the heart, Behemoth's heart, just picked up by Mage Bane, so he's not dying. And not all that they can do if they try to push. He's just gonna Rax them. I mean, what exactly can they do? Top lane actually. Huh. Was a bit of a skirmish. I completely missed it. I was watching Mage Bane.
Fate just opened onto Tempest. Really tried to burst him, but Tempest gets the deep of the Master's Call and survives in the end. So, but while that's happening, Mage Bane's like, I'm gonna send my illusions, push your middle tower, and I'm gonna go bottom lane. So, All ladder towers? Yeah, all ladder towers have now been destroyed here. I mean, look at the illusions alone. And this is what's so impressive about Mage Bane too, is, well, especially at this rate, he spawns those illusions with the Geometer Span, and they themselves are actually a decent threat, even though they are just simply illusions. They could still do plenty of damage and a lot of work, both in pushing and even in picking off supports and whatnot. Void Talisman just picked up by Pyromancer as well, so a solid item for him. We got Fade. Is he actually going to open here? He is. He's probably just going to Portal Key away. Oh my god, it's going to be a kill! Wow! What level Codex is that? It's only level 1 Codex. Damn!
Is he full health? I wasn't watching.
He was basically full health. Yeah. Yeah, I did not expect him to actually die right there, but he did.
Yeah, I like never play. I think that's one of my worst heroes, Fade. I cannot land that stun to save my life, so I'm not too familiar with the math in terms of how much damage you could do, but yeah, that's pretty shocking to me as well. I mean, there's no vestments. You kind of factor that in a little, but still.
Well, you also have to keep in mind the auto attack coming out of the reflection. That's 525 magic damage over 2 seconds. That also happens, so. On top of the Codex, on top of the Burning Shadow's Coal, on top of a couple of auto attacks, so yeah, I guess it makes sense. Corrupted can buy back, I take it? Yeah, he can buy back, but he is up at 20 seconds at the same time. And if you're the Legion team, you know, you're not rushing this by any means, and they're playing this pretty smart. They'll spread out and not giving that big 5-man Tempest Ultimate a chance.
Yeah, I mean, maybe people just go bomb and start pushing.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Oh, Fade good. Burning Shadow's Cool on top of the. Here comes also the Shatter Storm. Boom! Goes a dynamite right there. The Hellborn team is falling apart. The Plague Ooze bouncing around. Corrupted Cyber comes back into the fight right here, but he's just a little bit too late. Mage Bane blinking backwards. And actually, Corrupted might need to be careful. He does apply the conduit, but out of range now. And here comes Mage Bane back in the one auto attack, gets that kill. The great response for the Legion team has supports as well. The Tempest Ultimate immediately canceled. Immediately canceled by the swap right there. Just absolutely no chance, and there's the concede. Game number 1 going to Internet Gangsters over nice prize pool. That was just well played, and, well, get Mage Baned. Get Mage Baned.
Yeah, I think they got a little outdrafted, especially in that middle lane, as I was kind of emphasizing how Master of Arms not the preferred support hero in that middle lane, but in the end, they got Mage Bane pretty heartbreaking, so just well played by IG. Their strategy was very clear in terms of executing it. I feel like they did a great job. Even their support heroes were counter-pushing when the Hellborn team grouped up, so very well played.
Yeah, I mean, you do look back to the laning phase, and you made a strong point of it, especially in that middle lane. You know, maybe the Temp is going to try to be a little more active earlier on, and on top of that, if you're going to lose a lane like that, it could definitely start to snowball from there. I mean, Mage Bane was just getting free farm. Even low set at the top side, you know, obviously that's a hero that tends to stay alive in that suicide role. That's why he's so good at it, including even getting counter kills. All across the board, yeah, you look at the draft in the hindsight now, and you say, yeah, probably a bit about drafting there coming out from Internet Gangsters at the same time. So, again, game number 1 going in their favor. We'll see if Dice Prize Pool has a response here for game number 2 to stay alive here in cycle number 1 for the HoN Tour Diamond Division. So, Riser joining me here on the cast. I'm Breaking CBK. Stay tuned, guys. We got game number 2 going to be coming up next. Sit tight.